So you have the money, but you feel trapped. That's not freedom. That's just another cage. You became an entrepreneur so that you didn't have to work 9 to 5 anymore, but now you work 5 to 9 and your business is draining your health, your longevity, your mindset, and it has become this massive ball that you can't get yourself out of. This episode is all about untangling that and giving you the tools that you need to be able to be free from the cage that you've created. So essentially, the business that pays you really well, we've got to make sure that you own it and it doesn't own you. Hi, my name's Grant Hutchby and I am your host of the Carnivore Entrepreneur Show, and I help successful male entrepreneurs who are stuck, tired, drained, fat, whatever you want to call it, basically reclaim their strength, their energy and their power that they had 10 years ago, to reverse their biological age and feel young, happy and free to do whatever they want whenever they want to do it. So today I'm going to teach you about how making more money doesn't give you more freedom, and how you need to rebuild and restructure what you do to give you the body, the mind and the bank account that gives you absolute true freedom with young energy and a happy mind. So I've told this story before about how when I first initially made my money as an entrepreneur and crossed that 7-figure mark, the 100K a month mark, and it was great, you know, it's exciting. That's exactly where I wanted to get myself to. But because I didn't have the systems and stuff in place and the right mindset, I spent a couple years just enjoying that and not realizing how it was impacting my body, how it was impacting my mind, how it was making me fat, bringing all my pains back. And essentially, I lost my drive for not only working, I was in a situation where I didn't have to run or operate the business. Kay is the operator and she would run the businesses and I would do more of a strategic overview. And I think over those couple of years, I got really lazy in terms of how I was approaching work and lost my purpose and my drive a little bit. And what happened is we didn't have the systems and the processes and even the people in place to mitigate some of the business challenges that you get when you cross certain marks. And our mark that we crossed in 2021, 2022 was the 7-figure mark. You know, we were turning over 7 figures. We had 100K months on a regular basis. And what this did because I wasn't focused on the business as much, because I was letting myself go, because I was getting fat, I was, not in the same place mentally that I was when we were building the business up to that level. It meant that in 2023, we hit huge cash flow issues. And like I said, I've mentioned this before, but I've talked about it from the body and the mind perspective, but actually from the business perspective, we didn't have the systems and the people in place to make sure that we were robust enough to notice these issues before they became a problem. And what happened is it literally hit a rock bottom. It was a shock to the system because we got to a point at the beginning of 2023 and there was not enough money in the bank account to pay clients and to pay staff. Now, we're not the type of business or people that would not pay staff or not pay clients. So we had to find a way to do it. And Kay and I had spent a lot of the money on our new home. So a lot of our own money was tied up. So we had to take out a £50,000 loan just to pay staff and clients. Now, I never, ever, ever wanted that to happen again. So this was the moment that I decided to turn things around. And obviously it started, as I explained in the previous episode, in episode 34, started with my body and getting it younger. But this drove me, my focus on me and my body and getting my mindset right, that gave me the clarity as to what I needed to do in the business. So yes, absolutely focusing on the things that I needed to do to reduce my biological age, to feel younger, helped my mind be better because my mind was getting younger along with my physical body. And because of that clarity, because of that improvement in myself, I got clarity in what I needed to do in the business. So after I got everything back in check, I was protecting my morning routines, my evening routines, how I was training, how I was fueling my body. The clarity that came from the business was I needed to build and put the effort into creating the systems and processes that allowed us to see how we were financially. So making sure that we had amazing cash flow forecasts to predict when we needed cash in the future, have an accurate P&L month by month so that we could make decisions on the business not long after the month had finished, as opposed to looking at things much further down the line, and to have a balance sheet that was accurate as well so that we could see exactly where we were right now. And that's the point of financial clarity in those three statements: is cash flow is for future, profit and loss is for past, and balance sheet is for present, what's going on right now. So that was my focus, and it gave me purpose within the business again. And having that purpose and getting my body to where it needed to be and protecting my routines and putting things into my body that were good for it gave me more purpose within my business. It wasn't just the shock that put me back into the business. It was understanding and having the clarity of what needed to be fixed. And that was the moment that I realized that a successful business comes from having not only the right systems, but the right people to run those systems and people that you can trust. And combine that with the carnivore entrepreneur philosophy of simplicity plus structure equals consistency. So if you keep your processes simple and you make them highly structured and extremely easy to understand, that will make sure that they're consistently followed and give you the result that you want. So I guess the point here is showing you that youth, so focusing on your biological age, plus happiness, focusing on how good your mind is, will equal freedom to be able to do what you want whenever you want to do it. Because imagine this, what's the opposite of youth? Age, old, getting old. So being youthful or older, like you are able to get more stuff done, have more energy to do it if you are younger in your body rather than older in your body. That's a simple decision to make. Do you think you'll be better in business if you are younger in your body or if you're older in your body? Absolutely younger, right? The next thing is your mind. What's the opposite of happy? The opposite of happy is sad or unhappy. So do you think that you're going to make better decisions for your business if you are in a happy, positive state of mind rather than in a unhappy, sad, negative state of mind? Absolutely. They're simple decisions to make. And this is why simplicity and structure is really important, is you can clearly see that if you're in a happy, positive state of mind, you'll make better decisions for your business. And that's why if you are younger in your body and happier in your mind, those together will equal much better strategic decisions in your bank account and allow you to be free to do what you want whenever you want to do it. And that's where I am drilling into the fact that just need to focus on your biological age and making yourself younger. Because if you do that, you will focus on the things that will improve your body and improve your mind. And then you'll make the right decisions in your business. This episode, yes, is about that. And all episodes are about absolutely reducing your biological age and become better in you so that you can be better for your business. This episode is about the systems and the structure that you need to put in place. So hopefully I can take you through one or two of the frameworks that you can download, and I can showcase some of the stuff that you need to do to make your business better. So there are two frameworks that I want to talk about, and these frameworks are, you can download them off the website in the description, bookresources.thecarnivoreentrepreneur.com. But there are two that I want to talk about. There's loads in there, but there's two that I want to talk about that are free to download. And that's the DDD Done framework and the weekly power sprint framework. But before we do, freedom in business is what we are all aiming for. Like, you think it's a certain money level, but it's not. It's a certain money level combined with time freedom. So yes, absolutely, we've got to put in a certain amount of time, but you want to make sure that that time that you're putting in has a return on investment in the future. So you put time into something and then it pays you forever. And that's what business is all about. You spend time setting it up. And then when it gets to a certain level where you've got enough money there that you can leverage other people's time to do what needs to be done within the business, you can use that money to then release you from the business, and then the business will operate on its own. However, the mistake that I made was we had the wrong systems and the wrong people before I stepped away from the business. So what you want to make sure is, before you step away from anything within your business, is to make sure that you've got the right people and the right processes in there to be able to step away from it. And these frameworks should help you be able to do that. So basically the formula here is the right people plus the right systems equals freedom in your business. Just like youth plus happiness equals freedom in your life. Now, freedom is all about having the time to be able to do what you want whenever you want to do it. Unless you have freedom in your business, you can't do that. So, onto the framework. The weekly power sprint framework is a simple but basic way of making sure that you get the right tasks done in that week and you achieve the right results. Now, there's a whole video on this in the framework itself. You just scan the QR code and it gives you a full video on what you need to do and how you need to do it and why you need to do it. So I'm not going to go through everything. However, it's basically, you set yourself 3 results that you want to achieve for the week. And this is across body, mind, and bank account. So what you're doing to make yourself younger, what you're doing to make yourself happier, and what you're doing within your business to help you free yourself from that business, to make your business better so that you've got more time to do the things that you want to do. So you've got 3 sort of results that you want to achieve across the 3 platforms or the 3 areas of your life. So body, mind, and bank account. And then you've got 10 actions that are going to help you achieve those results. Now, I'm a very results driven person. So longer term, a year out, 5 years out, 15 years out, even 3 months out, I'll be thinking about what it is I want to achieve. So I think about what I want to achieve really far out, and then I break it down into, 20 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, and then quarters. Then what I do with each quarter is I break it down per month. Now, the only time that I start giving myself actions to do rather than results is in maybe a month, so a 4-week period. So you don't really want to be setting yourselves actions to do over a quarter, because sometimes you can achieve the results that you want to achieve without doing all the actions. It's just the actions are stuff that you think you need to do in the moment to get the results that you want to get. So actions should only be really set short term. So this weekly power sprint that you do on a Sunday or a Monday morning to get yourself ready for the week sets out what you want to achieve and then what you're going to do to achieve it. And there's 10 things. And on there, you'll be ticking them off, scheduling them in. And at the end of the week, you review how you've done. Just that process will make sure that you are highly strategic and you are only doing the 10 things that are going to move the needle forward the most and help you the most with your business. If you can delegate out any of the tasks, that's where the other framework comes in, which is called the DDD Done framework. And the 3 Ds stand for do, diarize, and delegate. And basically that framework has 4 boxes, and you've got do, diarize, and delegate, but then you've also got dump. And basically all it is important and not urgent. So the stuff that you do is the only you can do, or only you can do it in the moment, and it's important and urgent. The diarize is where you want to spend 70% of your time. That's where you want to live. But the diarize is where it's important, but not urgent. So it's not urgent to do it, but it is really important to do. Next is delegate, which is basically your urgent but not important stuff. It needs to get done now, but you don't need to do it. So that's where the DDD done framework comes in, is all the stuff in the delegate list, in the delegate box. You can then write down each one of those tasks, write down who you're going to delegate to, and have a proper delegation process, as opposed to what I like to call an abdication process. You want to delegate, not abdicate. Abdication is where you say, I want you to go and do this. Here you go. And then you don't follow up on it and hope that it gets done, and then get annoyed when it doesn't get done, right? Whereas delegation is you set them up correctly. So you give them the task, you explain exactly what you expect from that task. So it's 100% clear. You've given proper clarity as to what needs to get done. Then maybe halfway through or at some point in between them starting it and completing it, you check in on how they're getting on. Do they need any more support? Are they going at the pace that you would have expected them to? And this can be done on a daily delegation, on a weekly delegation, on a monthly delegation. It's just the time period is different. If you're delegating on a day, you check in at the middle of the day. If you're delegating on the month, you check in at the middle of the month. It's as simple as that. And then last but not least is at the end, when you're finished, you sign it off. So you sign off that they've completed the task to the level that you expected them to, and you don't sign it off until they've completed it. So this framework is actually a one-page sheet that you can use to effectively delegate out stuff. And I didn't forget, the fourth box of the DDD done framework is the other D, which there are only 3 Ds because you only really need to sort 3 of them, which is do, diarize, and delegate. Whereas the 4th D is dump. And that's stuff that is neither important or not urgent. And you can delegate that stuff out if you want to give someone some tasks that just need to get done if they've got some spare time. But it's basically stuff that you don't need to do and it's not important. So don't do them, get rid of them, dump them. And that's what that's about. So essentially what you're creating here with these 2 frameworks is a system, remember, systems equal freedom, is a system for you to make sure that you're doing the most important tasks that are going to move the needle forward, that you're holding yourself account to them, and you're actually looking at all the things that need to get done and assigning them correctly so that they get done strategically, giving them to the right people. And you're now creating a system where the right people are involved, and it will create you a lot more freedom within your business. So I'm going to ask you a question. Do your systems work for you or against you? Are you trapped within your business every day because you don't have the right people or the right systems so that you can be free from the day-to-day running of your business? Freedom begins when you take control of your structure within your life and how you look after yourself so that you have freedom in your life. Because remember, youth plus happiness equals freedom, but also in your business, structure plus people equals freedom as well. And they all help each other. And you could look at your body's structure and how happy your people are. So in your business, your structure is like your body and your people is like the happiness, the mind side of it. And then it still equals freedom. So the 2 equations really work together, but you need to get those things right, like I needed to back in 2023. So take back control of your structure and get your freedom. So like I said before, all of the frameworks that I've mentioned here, the 2 frameworks I've mentioned here, the Weekly Power Sprint and the DDD Done framework, are available to download with loads of other stuff that's free as well, along with my ebook. Just go to bookresources.thecarnivoreentrepreneur.com and everything will be there free for you to download with just a simple case of putting your email address in. And then when we've got your email address, obviously, you can unsubscribe from us whenever you like, but you'll get emails and updates of everything that's going on with the Carnivore Entrepreneur. And also, if there's any other free stuff to download, you'll be given the opportunity to do that as well. Because as soon as you download stuff, you're part of the team, part of the Carnivore Entrepreneur community, and you'll always have access to any stuff that we do within our portal. So you have the money. Now you need to get the freedom by taking control of your systems within your business and your systems within your body. Be young, be happy, and be free, people. I'll see you on the next episode. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You are a carnivore entrepreneur. Live life how it was supposed to be lived on your terms with strength, energy, and purpose. I'll see you on the next episode.